We welcome you back to another season of Chatham-Kent Cougar football on your TV. Back at it. It's Mike Renier along with Mike James. Junior varsity football home opener for the Cougars as they welcome in the Hamilton Hurricanes on a blustery afternoon here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Cougars kick it away to the Hurricanes. And the return brings it back to the 30-yard line and a whole lot more past the 35, close to the 40. Just shy of the 40, so some pretty good starting field position for the Hamilton Hurricanes here this afternoon.
It's certainly windy enough, worth noting right off the hop here, Mike. The Hamilton squad going to be going into the wind to start this one off. They're going to be facing a pretty stout Cougars defense who pitched a shutout in the season opener when they faced the Sarnia Sturgeon.
Offense and defense A++ last week on the road as they thrashed the Sturgeon 63-0. So a great start to this 2019 campaign for the Cougars as they start this one on D. Out of the shotgun formation for Hamilton. In motion, and they fake the pass up the middle. Nowhere to go for the running back, maybe even a yard drop on that play. And I say maybe a yard. I actually mean 5 yards on the loss there up the middle. So a great job to start this one by the Cougars frontmen.
You can just see, it looks like the defense picking up right where it left off from last weekend's big win over Sarnia. Plugging up the middle, absolutely nowhere to go as they decide to run the ball on first down, bringing up a second and long situation.
Once again, they have it out of that shotgun formation. Looking down the field, not surprisingly going to the air on second and very long. A short game passes completed along the right-hand side.
Pass is complete to Connor Cole, number 16 of Hamilton.
Cole hauls it in for the Hurricanes, but well short to move the chains as they don't quite make it to the original line of scrimmage.
Bring up third down and about 8.
So the Hurricanes now third and very long. And this wind is certainly going to be a interesting storyline this afternoon as they punt it away.
You can imagine they try to keep this one low, but that gets well up into the air in a very short kick.
A Cougars bounce, a Cougars mega bounce there brings it back to the 50-yard line of Hamilton. There's a flag that comes out.
Logan Stefina, number 24, the Cougars falls on that ball. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, Stefina smart to jump on that football. They got a flag out, and you got to imagine typically it's a no yards call in that situation.
But now you'll have Mike, you'll have the Cougars with the wind on the good side of what they're trying to do. The winds will be at their backs as they'll have their first possession of the home season of 2019. Ball stays at the 50-yard line of the Hamilton Hurricanes.
Well, it's an impressive start by the Cougars and giving the offense fantastic field position at the Hamilton 50-yard line to start. And we mentioned off the top, the Cougars putting up 63 points on Sarnia to open the season last week. Let's see if the Cougars can pick up where they left off.
Good first stand on defense. Let's see how the offense works now. Quarterback is rolling to his right, and the pass is complete. Wide open after the catch to the 30-yard line to the 25. Hauled in by Trevor Lawton. And a big first play of the offensive home season for the Cougars. Great field position now.
Boy, that's a pretty good way to start. Make the home fans pretty happy there. Darian Bassick-Haddon rolls out to his right. Hits, as you mentioned, Trevor Lawton right in the numbers, able to hit him in stride, and Lawton with a nice big gain, getting the Cougars down to the 20-yard line, pick up a 30 yards on their very first play on offense.
Here's play number 2 as they keep it on the ground. Is the ball loose? I thought they were kind of jostling for it, but the Cougars do hang on to it, and that was 24 for the Cougars. Logan Stefina, who had the assignment on the ground. And it got about half the yardage he needs. So 2nd and 5 now for the Cougars.
Yeah, Stefina a little bit slow to get up, but a good push up front there for the Cougars on first down. Bringing up that second and about, as you mentioned, pick up about 5 yards, so 2nd and 5.
Big second down play, and now a quarterback keeper up the middle. Let's see if he can get those 5 yards. A nice scamper up the middle. Good job by Bassick Haddon. And he will move the chains. Looked a little bit murky going through the line there, but he was able to pick up steam and more than enough yardage to again bring up a first down for the Cougars.
Oh, beautiful run there from Bassick Haddon, just picking his way through the pile. Didn't look like he had a lot of room, but found a way to maneuver that big body through, and as you mentioned, plenty for the first down, and brings up a first and goal here for the Cougars.
Well inside the 5-yard line, methodically moving down the field on the offense. Bassick Haddon once again. He'll hand it off up the middle. Touchdown, Cougars! Only a handful of plays to get into pay dirt, and Brandon Benoit gets the 6 points for Chatham-Kent. They have the lead early on home field.
Boy, Brandon Benoit, nice little skip move right at the line of scrimmage, bounces it out to the left, and then just finds a little seam there, gets it into the end zone, and the Cougars with a beautiful start here on this football game. First, the defense comes up with the 2 and out. Good job on special teams to recover the short kick, and then really not a lot of work at all for the Cougars to drive down the field. I believe that was a total of 4 plays before they punch it into the end zone.
Logan Stefina, we've seen him do pretty much everything so far in this early part of the game. He's going to try and kick another point, and that is not successful. So the Cougars will remain up 6-0 after a good first offensive showing here this afternoon at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. A good defense, good offense, and we'll see if this can sustain not only this afternoon but the rest of this season for the JVs.
Yeah, they certainly left themselves a lot to live up to after the opener with the big lopsided victory they had to open the season, and they certainly haven't disappointed here for the home crowd. In the very first offensive and defensive possessions, the Cougars look extremely, extremely tough so far early in this season.
Stingy D and an offensive unit that's very much on the same page on their first go-around. So an encouraging first little bit here on the home field for the Cougars, again after destroying Sarnia on the road last week. So lots to be optimistic about for the JVs in 2019. 8:47 left to go in quarter number 1. Cougars kick it off. Low line drive kick. That might be a good thing to do today on this very blustery afternoon. Picked up by Hamilton. And they cross the 35-yard line just barely. And that will be their opening possession. Second time with the football for Hamilton. Down by 6.
Stefina there coming off the mixed extra point that was low. A little bit surprising with the low line drive kick there with the wind as strong as it is to their back. I was almost expecting that one to be a nice, high, deep kick, but nonetheless gets the job done. Hamilton, their second possession of this football game, going to start on their own 35-yard line.
Hamilton Hurricanes begin at their own 35. Out of the gun once again.
I don't know what happened. Something went wrong here.
And I don't
know
if that was a broken play.
Yeah, that ball didn't make it back to the quarterback, and they're going to say the Cougars recovered it.
That happened so fast. That happened ridiculously fast, but hey, that certainly favors the Cougars. Just like that, they get the football back. And even better field position at the Hamilton 39. So, man, oh man, things are going just fine for the Cougars. And not just so fine for Hamilton early on here.
It looks like they're, by the looks of it anyway, it looked like either the center had his hand slip off the ball or he might have hit one of his cheeks on the way back, getting that ball back to the quarterback. And it's worth noting on the first offensive possession for Hamilton, almost looked like they were having a little bit of trouble with that shotgun snap of the ball, getting back pretty slowly.
Back to offense are the Cougars. Bassick Haddon drops back. Nice catch along that far side. Hauling that one in, that's Tyler Shumansky for the Cougars. Nice little vertical leap by Shumansky, and he hangs on to it. And he'll move the chains.
Yeah, Bassick Haddon showing some nimbleness there, rolling out to his left and throwing across his body. And then Szymanski with the nice snag, grabbing that ball out of the air, and then a couple extra yards after the catch. And boy, this offense looking very crisp.
Up to the 16 of Hamilton. High snap, but brought down nicely by Bassick Haddon. Into the end zone! Touchdown! Just like that.
Pass over the middle is complete. The number 9, Brett Wagerson.
Wagerson with a touchdown from Bassick Haddon. 2 plays, 12-0 Chatham-Kent.
Boy, that was a nice throw there by Bassick Haddon. He threads the needle right over the middle to big number 9, Wigerson. Makes no mistake, catches it at about the goal line, I'd say, and just kind of trots into the end zone. And the Cougars right now are just absolutely rolling.
They want to keep this going. They are going to try and punch it into the end zone for some more. And it is good. They punch it in on the feet. And add 2 to the total, so they pick up that missed extra point from the last touchdown drive. It is 14-0 for the Cougars.
Well, Stefina makes up for that low extra point attempt on the last touchdown, so nice job there, pushing his way into the end zone. The Cougars get that 2-point convert and now lead 14-0 very early on. Still 7:28 to go in the first quarter.
Make me do math now because they had 63 last week on the road.
Yes.
You had 14
correct.
to that. Don't say it. Don't say it. 77. 77 zip in just over 4 quarters of football, and the defense is still spotless.
Yes, and you know what? As a coach, you almost, I don't know, do I want to say get a little bit nervous? Because you don't want them to roll too easy. You know, you want them to face some adversity, certainly, but at this point, it's going to be tough for the coaches to pick anything out that you really got to work on.
Line drive kick goes over the first would-be receiver, rolls past the 25-yard line, picked up by Hamilton, brought back to the 35. Now some room ahead at the 50. And now it's dropped by Hamilton. Who's got it? Around the 48-yard line. Who got to it first?
Looks like
It's
it was
the Cougars who have it back. Oh, man.
Wow.
What a start for the Cougars, and what just some bad luck here for Hamilton as they had a great run back on that second effort, and it comes out, and the Cougars just by a nanosecond were able to get there first on the dive, and they have the football back.
Well, the Cougars lost contain on this near side, a couple of whiffs on the tackle, and Hamilton had something going on that return, as you mentioned, Mike, but great pursuit by the Cougars. They're able to knock it out, and then some good hustle on one of the cover men to come back and then end up recovering that football.
Cougars back on offense. They hand it off, and Szymanski past the 40-yard line. He gets 30-yard line. What a great effort by Tyler Szymanski. He had 2-3 men on him, and to scamper as far as the 30-yard line, that was impressive. And another set of first down, another set of downs here for the Cougars. Everything working well so far.
Yeah, pickup of about 15 yards, 17 yards on that carry. And right now the Cougars are just gashing that Hamilton defense. The running backs not having any trouble finding lanes at this point.
This time out of the shotgun, Bassick Haddon gets the ball off the snap, going to the air along the right side, way overthrown. Cougars may be looking for a flag, and Wegerson just was a long way from that football. He kind of looked around after to see, hey, maybe a flag should have come out, but no such luck. And 2nd and 10 now for Chatham-Kent.
You know, we were talking earlier about the quarterback for the Cougars, Bassick Haddon, and it just seems like he's been with the organization forever because we've watched him since the early stages, I think going all the way back to Pee Wee, and we just always remembered him just being one of the bigger kids on the field no matter which team he was on. I got to be honest, I don't know if it's the number 1 on his back now, but he looks like he's just a little bit trimmer, and you know what, the age group as well.
And up the middle, they hand it off. Some nice room up the middle for the Cougars, and Brandon Benoit gets some nice positive yards on 2nd and 10. And let's see where they spot it. 3rd down is going to be the case, but it's going to be 3rd and short. I'd say 3rd and 2 is what they're setting up there.
And I mentioned that because just of the nimbleness, mind you, he's always moved very well for his size, but the nimbleness with which he's moved so far at the quarterback position. We've seen him roll out to both sides, and we've seen him tuck and run it. Looks very sharp.
Very high snap. He recovers. Can he get to the first down yardage on 3rd and 2? He does, and a whole lot more. More yards for the Cougars, and another set of downs coming up. Nice job by Bassick Haddon, but you're absolutely right. Back, maybe 3 years ago or thereabouts, he was more of a stout young man, and with age, you're going to grow, and you're going to kind of change your body frame. So he does have a different appearance to him. Now, not confirming this with the research department, just with our memories, I think he is in his 23rd year with the Cougars.
Could be.
It seems like it, as you mentioned.
Yeah. As you mentioned, the research department
they're not here.
doing a great job for us.
As always. They keep it on the ground. On 1st and 10, still with it is Shumansky to the corner, going to the end zone. Touchdown! Cougars! Their 3rd score of the first quarter. They're up by 20.
Boy, Tyler Shumansky making it look easy. A beautiful cut right in the middle of the field. He hits the hole and then just plants that right foot, a nice break to the outside, and then goes in untouched whatsoever, not a blemish. And another touchdown for the Cougars here, and their offense just absolutely rolling.
Okay, now we're going to try the conference.
4:23 still left to go in this first quarter. They're going to go back to the kick. And Logan Stafita will try this once again. Cougars up by 20, and it is up, and it is through. So he is 1 for 2 on the kick convert attempts. It is 21-0 for the Cougars. 3 possessions on the offense, 3 touchdowns, and a large lead over Hamilton.
Yeah, this Cougars offense, I mean, there's no other way to put it right now. The offensive line doing their job without a doubt. So far, the quarterback, the receivers, nice throws, good catches. We haven't seen a ball hit the ground yet, and they've been, super efficient running the football. I don't think they've had a run under 5 yards, and when your offense is rolling like that, it certainly makes things a lot easier. I wonder if Stefina's leg is getting tired already.
Now with his large lead, maybe he's not even thinking about that right now. Cougars rolling on all facets of the game so far. Big kick all the way back towards the goal line and picked up by Hamilton right there. The whole field ahead of him. And a great job by the Cougars. Hamilton just trying to hang on to the football. And another big stop for the Cougars D on special teams. And they have pinned the Hurricanes way, way back.
Oh, boy, that was a good kick. That wind to the back of the Cougars likely playing a factor on that return, going over the head of the return man for Hamilton.
Hamilton starts this drive
and then a big hit there, big stick, face mask to face mask, and good coverage by the Cougar special teams.
Looking off to the west, it looks like there's a quick shower ahead. Just a quick shower, nothing to worry about. It's a bit of a dark hue and not entirely scary, but we'll see how fast we can get through this game. Home opener for the junior varsities, up 21-0. Chatham-Kent, and they've pinned Hamilton way, way back in their end. Quarterback scrambling to his right, trying to get out of danger, and he does. Looking down the field, now he will let it go, and it's almost intercepted, and it is intercepted off the deflection. The Cougars have it, and they bring it back a few yards on that throw by Naranchik. He looked down the field after scrambling to his right. It was deflected, and it was Lucas Rupert who gets credited with the INT. And it still rolls on here for Chatham-Kent.
Rupert comes through on that tip drill right there by the DBs. Surprising attempt there by the quarterback for the Hamilton Hurricanes. Naranchik, as you mentioned, Hadn't crossed the line of scrimmage yet, though, so pretty heads up to attempt that pass, but into coverage, and the Cougars defense comes up big. And now we've got 2 turnovers caused by the Cougars, one on special teams and now one on defense.
They start this time with the football at the 20-yard line of Hamilton. And nice little stiff arm. Doesn't lead to a whole lot of positive yards, but good attempt there by Wegresin. And maybe he gets about a yard on that play. 2nd and 9 coming up here for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, Wiggerson with the stiff arm off the bat to get away from the defender, but good job by the defender for Hamilton sticking with it, eventually making the tackle. And I believe that's the player that made the tackle there that's a little bit shaken up, Fernando Demiglio. Looked like maybe his ankle got rolled up on as he was making the tackle there.
Injury timeout, 21-0 Cougars. It's the home opener for the JVs. Back after the injury timeout, hopefully everything's going to be okay. Everything's to be relatively fine. 3:24 to go in the first quarter. 21-0 Cougars. Mike Renier along with Mike James. Home opener for the JVs. Quarterback keeper up the middle. Getting a little bit of positive yardage there was Bassick Haddon, but flag comes out in the backfield.
I believe this one is going to be going against Hamilton here. Oh, correction there. I believe this is going to be against the Cougars. At first, I thought the official there, James Clark, was talking to the Cougars, but talking to Hamilton. Yeah, holding against the Cougars.
So that backs it up 10, so that's a significant penalty against the offense, which has had all the momentum and success in this early football game.
Although it does give the Cougars a chance to convert the second down. So as opposed to bringing up the third down attempt, which likely would have gone to a field goal attempt based on the field position and the fact that they got a strong wind at their back, but a chance to convert this on second down.
It's a long one, 2nd and 20 for the Cougars. Bassick Haddon fakes the handoff, rolls off to his left, looks downfield. He's got a man wide open. It's a completion and some room ahead of him all the way to the end zone. Touchdown Cougars, their 4th of the quarter. Trevor Lawton with the major score, 27-0 Chatham-Kent.
Wow. Well, that's the danger if you're facing an offense that's potent like the Cougars are. If you back them up, accept that penalty, I mean, for all we know, they might have gone for it on third down anyway, but does give the Cougars another chance on that 2nd and long. And beautiful throw by Bassick Haddon, and Trevor Lawton just trots into the end zone untouched. And this Cougars offense is very, very dangerous.
Here we go, another conver. This is the best part.
4 touchdowns in 9 minutes of play. Pardon me, Mike Sinclair says 9 minutes and 3 seconds. He is a perfectionist, and he has been for 25 years at least.
Flag on the play.
9:03 into the game, and 27-0. And before they kick the extra point here, some discussion. An offside discretion against Hamilton is the call there, and that's the delay. So they'll try this kick once again. Stefina kicks it wide. Wide right. So it remains a 27-0 lead for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, that's certainly something that the Cougars can work on. Not a lot that you can say at this point, but
this
certainly,
is good, right?
The extra point in special teams, it's an important part right? Because, I mean, that translates to field goal attempts as well, obviously, and certainly you want to try to be as good as you can in every facet of the game, every phase. So
this will now encourage a discussion at halftime or after the game rather than, well, good job, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, it's something they can work on. You're always looking to get better, right? Again, though, it's tough. It's going to be tough for the Cougars coaches to be very critical of this team, considering what they've done so far in the early going of this season. And I'm sure that's what they're going to be stressing, is it is the early going.
4 touchdowns for Chatham-Kent. They kick the ball away once again. Low line drive kick off to that left-hand side. A multiple bouncer picked up by Hamilton. And they'll bring it up to the 30-yard line and no further. It's been scarce, the Hamilton offense on the field so far today, whether it be a failed drive or just turnovers. That has been really largely the storyline for the Hamilton offense.
Yeah, I mean, really, you go back to that special teams play by the Cougars where they forced the fumble and the return. Hamilton looked like they were maybe on their way to a touchdown return, possibly. I mean, they were looking great, and it was just the tenacity of the Cougars special teams that caused the fumble and then recover it.
Just over 2.5 to go in this first quarter. All Chatham-Kent so far. Hamilton with the ball. Looking to pass. And off to that far side. And guess what? Another INT hauled in by Bassick Haddon. He is doing it all. Offense, defense. He brings it to the 15-yard line. Bassick Haddon is having himself a quarter.
And he is not shy of contact.
No.
If you didn't get that at the end, the quarterback for Hamilton, big number 4, Naranchich, with the tackle, and Bassick Haddon wasn't going to try to go around him. He was happy to take the contact.
Now, we did mention earlier in the quarter he is more svelte than we've seen him in the past. However, he is still very in your face, and he's still got a big frame and to be feared with.
And that it's worth noting that was quarterback on quarterback crime right there with the INT and then the return. Now, we did have a flag that came in after the interception. Have to see what looks like. It's against the Cougars. Unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness call does go against the Cougars. So it must have happened on the 30-yard line.
So it looks like that was on the return.
Contact was around the 30-yard line. So that's going to back the Cougars up to the Hamilton 45, 15-yard penalty. First down 10 for the Cougars at the Hamilton 44-yard line.
As the dust settles, football will be at the 44-yard line. And Bassick Haddon launches it near side. He's got a man, hauls it in towards the end zone. Another Cougars touchdown. And another one for Wergersen. Brett Wergersen has a touchdown. 5 in the quarter now for Chatham-Kent. 33-0 for the Cougars.
Boy, Wergersen does a good job high-pointing that football and then shedding the defensive back and then using the momentum of the defensive back, actually, who came back to make a play, pushing off of him and then running away from him into the end zone. And it's really hard to believe that there's still 2:10 left to go here in the first quarter. Again, yes, the first quarter, and it's 33-0, and the Cougars going for 2 points.
He hands it off, trying to get that corner along the far side, and he does sneak it in there. Shumansky makes it an 8-point scoring play on the touchdown, 35-0 for the Cougars. We are on target for a 140-0 shutout if it keeps it this way. I'm just extrapolating. I'm not saying that's how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to. Yes, you are right. I will not dispute that.
Yeah.
We all know it won't get to that point.
True.
I feel bad for the Hamilton squad because it's so early on and they've had some misfortune here, but at the same time the Cougars have played phenomenally, and 35-0, and still 2:10 to play. In the I'm going to have to talk to our research staff, but 5 touchdowns in the first quarter, I believe, is probably a JV record for the Cougars.
Our research staff for this game is actually my children behind us, and they're on YouTube right now, so they're busy. They're looking it up right now. Yeah. We'll get back to you. The answer is actually PJ Masks.
Yeah, that's right.
Kickoff to Hamilton as they return this one. And Blaze Robertson on the assignment. He'll get close to the 40. Pretty good run back for Robertson. And the Hurricanes trying to get anything going offensively here with 2:02 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was a pretty good return there. Nifty return. That's certainly another area. That's the second pretty good return we've seen from Hamilton. So the Cougars special teams, coverage-wise, always important. It's always tough on coverage, kick coverage, to stay in your lane because you automatically want to run to that football, but you've got to be patient.
And nice coverage along the near side, batted down by Burgoon of the Cougars. Incomplete pass.
It was perfect timing there by Burgoon. Just as the ball got there to get in and knock that pass down.
Now under center for Hamilton, looks like it is Connor Cole, number 16.
Well, it is worth noting that the previous quarterback looked like he maybe got banged up on the tackle after making the interception.
Oh, another big
That's
hit.
a fumble.
It comes out. Looked like that was a complete. Oh, they're saying now incomplete, I believe, along that far side. That was close. I would have sided on that being a complete pass. And a fumble.
Calling that a complete pass.
That's
out, so that is a fumble.
Oh, no, pardon me.
Oh, yeah.
There's confusion.
I was with you, Mike. I thought they called that incomplete.
All right.
Oh,
so
very good.
It is how it looked. It was a complete pass and a fumble recovered by Chatham-Kent on that initial pass. Pardon me, that was Daniel Berlinger, number 12 for Hamilton, who tossed that one, the quarterback this time around for Hamilton. But again, the offense for Hamilton is off the field. The Cougars back on offense after another takeaway. And 1:10 left to go in this first quarter.
Boy, that was a beautiful hit there by the Cougars, causing that turnover. You could hear that smack all the way up here.
Bassick Haddon using his feet, weaving through defense. He's got some room now. One man to beat. Sideline, trying to get into the end zone. Does he do it?
Yes.
Just barely. It is a touchdown. Doing it all, Darian Bassick Haddon. Touchdown, Cougars.
Wow. That was some electric stuff there from the big quarterback for the Cougars. Looking downfield, couldn't find anything. Tucks it and runs, and boy, oh boy, as we mentioned, pretty big frame on Bassick Haddon, always has been, but he's pretty nimble. We've always seen that too, and he can surprise you with his speed, and had a beautiful run back.
Okay, here we are again.
Up and through. 42-0 now for Chatham-Kent. 51 seconds left in this first quarter.
Well, you've got to wonder now at this point. I mean, I hate to say it, with, as you mentioned, still 51 seconds left in the first quarter, but the talk of a running clock already. I'm not sure if they would wait till half for that, depending on what came of this, but boy, we were talking about the record of 5 touchdowns in the first quarter. That's 6 now.
I'm not extrapolating the score. It was fine to do it before. I just can't do that math now. 51 seconds left in quarter number 1. Sky's getting increasingly darker, so there is going to get a little bit of moisture in the air in some form, I would suspect. But our Your TV Doppler Mega 3000X is saying that it's not a very big system and hopefully will pass quickly. Another good kick by the Cougars all the way back near the goal line to get it for Hamilton. Blaze Robertson, another run back, and a bit of a stutter step there at the far sideline.
Hamilton on the return. Picks the ball
And
4-yard
Cougars again doing a good job on the coverage and holding Hamilton to not the greatest of returns. In good field position if you're the Cougars defense.
Yeah, certainly good coverage there from the Cougars. Also helped that the kick rolled all the way back to near the goal line. And the Cougars defense comes back out to cause more trouble for that Hamilton offense.
15-yard line.
Hamilton likes to keep it on the ground, and some positive yards along that far side, sneaking in through the right.
26 on the carry. 56 on the stop. 26 on the
Good tackle
Running back
there.
for Hamilton. Sorry, Michael.
That's
Bryson
okay.
Klein, the assignment on offense.
And Edwin Acosta there with the
Number 26 of Hamilton
stop.
on that carry. Gain of about 3. Second down and 7 for the Hurricanes.
Big defensive tackle for the Cougars.
pink socks again.
Last play of quarter number 1 is Hamilton keeping it on the ground.
And just a short pickup there, so going to bring up
Bryson Klein
third
again on
and
the carry.
long. Well, they picked up a couple more yards than I originally thought, actually, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. They'll switch ends here. So Hamilton will have the wind at their back here on this big 3rd down.
So they are switching ends. The end of the first quarter. Man, oh man, what a great first quarter it was for the Cougars. Both offensively and defensively, a 42-0 lead in the home opener for the Cougars JV squad over Hamilton.
Oh,
Underway in quarter number 2.
Hamilton electing to punt there, surprisingly, in a very, very, very short punt. And the whistle blown, dangerously short punt. Whistle blown before that ball came down. So the Cougars with their best field position so far this football game.
Yeah. We're still looking for notes of where the Cougars are having their best something of the game, and that does definitely apply here. 11:45 and counting left in the first half. Let's see how well we can do to get this first half in before some interesting weather moves in. Bassig Haddon off to his left, and that's an incomplete pass, and that was intended for Evan Starr.
Pass intended to Evan Starr, number 10.
And that brings up 2nd and 10 now for the Cougars. Still in very good field position deep in Hamilton territory.
And that throw a little bit low by Bassig Haddon, but it was good coverage by Hamilton. So I think Bassig Haddon just looking to make sure that ball wasn't somewhere where it could be picked off, and a little bit low for Starr to get his hands under it.
They pitch it off to the right, and on the ground it is Benoit past the line of scrimmage. A short gain for the Cougars. So this will bring up a not often seen 3rd down offensively for Chatham-Kent
Pitch number 21, Brandon Bednar.
as they get to the 20-yard line.
I believe you're right, Mike. I believe this will be the first 3rd down that the Cougars offense has faced so far.
Or did they have a 3rd and 2 earlier, and they went? Yeah, they went for it, and they got a huge gain on 3rd and 2. So I believe that's the second one.
Cougars are faced with a
Wow.
3rd down
Okay.
and 7.
Yeah.
And we've got other agreement here in the booth, so my memory is not very sharp.
Up the middle here. They say again, no matter on a 3rd and short. Big gain for the Cougars on offense. And again, immediately, I regret correcting you so quickly on the air, and I apologize to you. I apologize to you quickly on the air, Mike James.
No apology needed. That's for sure. I mean, I was wrong, and rightfully so. I should be corrected.
But
not looking to
regret.
not looking to misinform our three fans.
When we get the third one?
I received a letter in the mail the other day.
Oh, amazing. Oh, we're up to letters. Great. Towards the end zone, trying to get more on the board are the Cougars. And just shy of the goal line for the Cougars, already up 42-0.
And again, just to be clear, that's not our viewership number. That's just our fan number.
People that want to interact with us on a regular
That's correct,
basis.
yes.
Yeah. I think 3's high, but
Yeah. Well, I thought that was also generous of you to put my address out there so they could send all of the fan mail to my address.
I'm impressed you get so much mail. That's good.
Yes.
Good for you.
Well, I like our Canada Post people.
Yeah, as do I. They're fine people.
Goal for the Cougars at the 1.
Like your son called his baby Henry? Yeah, he did. That was a nice little write-up in the paper. Yeah, thank you. I saw that name. I thought I did that. Did you do that? So you're the one who wrote he was hanging around the dog car wash.
Ball right on the goal line, 1 yard line, second down. And trying to punch it in up the middle.
Wow,
And
good
again,
penetration there from Hamilton.
A little bit of frustration there by the Cougars offense. They don't get into the end zone.
I believe that was DeMiglio that got into the
On the carry, stopped just shy of the goal line.
possibly that got into the backfield of the Cougars.
Timeout, Chatham, yeah.
And the Cougars do stop the clock. They have a timeout here. So third and goal now will be from the
Cougars have called timeout.
1 yard line to try and get their 7th touchdown of the first half. Large lead for the Cougars, 42-0 on this timeout. Third and goal. Can they punch it in this time? Yes, they can. Touchdown number 7 for the Cougars on the afternoon. And it is.
Stefina with the touchdown, number 24. And I believe that's Stefina's third score, I believe.
I believe
However,
so, yeah.
I might be getting confused there because he did have a two-point conversion as well.
When you get to 7, it gets a little bit confusing as to who has how many here. But a 48-0 lead.
Nice little 60-degree lob wedge.
Point after attempt is no good.
However, it is wide.
Our stats guy, Mike Sinclair, actually says that's touchdown number 1.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been on a few extra points and such.
Jeez.
Yeah, touchdown number 1.
Clearly, my goal has been to deliver misinformation and then have
No.
everybody around me work to correct me.
Now the sensitivity is increasing.
Oh,
Just
no,
a
I'm
little-
not sensitive at all. No, I'm happy to have everybody around me correct me. I'm not looking to give out any incorrect stats. Yeah, that's and I'm being told that was the 2-point conversions where I'm calculating, unfortunately.
Hey, we have the resources to get things right.
Well, that's right. Again, our research staff is
Well, Mike
huge.
Sinclair's picked up that department right now. He's
Yes,
actually picked that up, which is wonderful.
Yeah. No,
First quarter.
I believe we've named him the chief of the research
That's right,
staff.
yeah. It comes with no raise in pay.
Yeah.
No raise in
correct.
pay. Some sprinkles starting to come down now here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. 8:35 to go in the first half. And a 48-0 lead for the Cougars over Hamilton.
Chief research correspondent. Perhaps we could get him an armband.
With that engraved on it.
Right.
I think it's a wonderful idea. Next time we get the banquet, he has to wait till the end of the season. Hamilton picks it up off of the kickoff for the Cougars and getting to the 35-yard line. And the run back, Connor Cole for Hamilton.
And Corin Stewart with the special teams tackle there in the middle of the field. And now the wind picking up, and here comes that rain that we were speaking of earlier.
Everyone now everyone's scrambling now at the Community Athletic Complex. But as long as it is just rain, we'll play on here. First and 10 here for Hamilton. And they go to the air, high in the air, and that goes over everybody's head and out of bounds along the near side. And almost smacks a bystander who's trying to find shelter. Incomplete, second down, and 10 here for Hamilton as this wind is now really kicking up here.
I can report at least 4 umbrellas turned inside out in the stands right now.
Yeah, the gusts are quite something.
Yeah.
This is quite something now. A little difficult to see. Almost difficult to see.
They gone to the air there, and that ball falls incomplete through the hands of number 16, I believe, for Hamilton. Looked like it was Connor Cole.
Third down now for the Hamilton Hurricanes. 48-0 for the Cougars.
Yeah, there's 2 incomplete passes, so this third down.
Rain really coming down now.
Yeah, it is a driving rain, and
It is coming down hard.
Yeah. And it looks like the Cougars have now taken over on downs.
Yeah. Should I take a chance and open this window just a little bit, or would that drown us?
That's up to you.
Yeah.
The Cougars are going into that stiff wind and rain right now. First down for them, and they're going to hand it off up the middle. Number 44 with the carry for the Cougars, L.J. Hines. Good carry up the middle. Good pickup there, about 7 yards it looked like.
Number 44, L.J. Hines on the carry for the Cougars.
Big soaking now. If you don't have an umbrella, you are long gone, probably into your car for a bit at the athletic complex.
If you're a Stéphane Richer fan, you're enjoying watching Hines carry the football.
7:13 and counting to go as the Cougars have a big gain on offense on the ground. Good run along the near side by Brandon Benoit.
Benoit churning those legs, got some wheels to get to the outside.
That run is good enough for a first down.
6:45 and counting left in the first half. Rain continues to drive down here. They roll off to the right-hand side. That is Shumansky for the Cougars. He's got a couple of Hamilton defenders on him and gets wrestled down with a little bit of gusto there.
Nearly broke away. Had looked like about 3 tacklers on him. Finally was dragged down, though, as you mentioned, Mike. And pickup of about 4 or 5 yards on that carry.
Down 5 for the Cougars. About the Hamilton 11-yard line.
I'm not sure how well this is translating to the broadcast, but it is coming down very hard.
And now going towards the end zone, not in yet, and now he high steps it in. Another touchdown for the Cougars, this time L.J. Hines. Leander Hines in for another score here for the Cougars in a driving rain. The route continues.
Well, Hines with a nice carry there, and then a spin move to shed the blocker just as he was getting to the goal line.
stopping the game.
And now they're stopping the football game because of this rain.
5:46 left to go in the first half. So we'll have to see if this will be tacked on to the second half when we return. This might be halftime. But 5:46 remaining in the second quarter. 54-0 Cougars in the home opener in the second game overall in the junior varsity Cougars season. Very rainy right now. Hopefully it's a short-lived system, and we will be back with the second half coming up. 54-0 for the Cougars. Football here with your TV. Well, it's a beautiful afternoon now. No weather stoppage. It's fine. 54-0 for the Cougars. Looking for more on the convert, and they do get it. 5:46 does remain on the clock in the second quarter after that lengthy weather delay where we saw a very heavy storm come through. Not so much with the thunder and lightning, but a very heavy rain. And now, not a lot of evidence of it other than a very wet track around the athletic complex, but the offense not slowed down here for the Cougars, 56-0.
Also a good-looking puddle at the 35-yard line.
I think it's now classified as a lake.
Oh, and yep, just got stomped in. And the extra point conversion was converted there by Dennis Roetz. Roetz, I'm told. Dennis Roetz. Wrote himself into the score sheet right there.
Everyone getting into the act today. 56-0 for the Cougars here.
We're also told that there will be no halftime because of the lengthy delay, which is probably about 35-40 minutes there, I believe. And yeah, shade over
correct? Half an hour from my very unofficial timekeeping on that. A lot of rain falling in that short amount of time. Cougars kick it off, and on that very wet field, the ball doesn't travel very far.
Number 5 on the carry, 44 on the stop.
Please, Robertson for Hamilton on the return.
Robertson again with Hamilton. He has the return and the football, and the Hamilton Hurricanes in a tough spot here, 56-0, and still in the first half of football.
That's the part that is so hard to believe, is that 5:42 remains here in the first half with the Cougars up 56-0.
Face mask.
I believe, yep, there looks like there was a face mask penalty there against the Cougars, so the football advanced to the 50-yard line on the Hamilton side of the football field.
Hamilton on offense, and again, a fumble. They recover it, but they lose a lot of real estate, and the Cougars swarming, and it's going to be a gigantic loss for Hamilton as it comes all the way past the 35-yard line in Hamilton territory. And he lost a world of yardage there.
Yeah, a loss of about 15 yards there. After that ball goes through the running back's hands, again, we're going to have some slick conditions. You can see the official with the long white towel on the waistband to wipe off that football, but that's only going to keep the football dry for so long. As soon as you put it down to mark it on the field, it gets wet once again.
2nd and 24 here for Hamilton. They go to the air along that far sideline. Nobody in the area. It falls incomplete. And 3rd and very long coming up, down to 4:47 left in the first half. Very long afternoon here for Hamilton.
Yeah, it's a tough position to be in, especially as the road team. I mean, not really much better if you're at home either, I guess. But
Yeah.
under 5 minutes to play and you're trailing 56-0. Already had almost a handful of turnovers in this football game, and the Cougars have not had to punt.
Hamilton with the ball and nowhere to go. Good Cougar defense. A loss on that play and a turnover on downs. Hands the football back to the Cougars. And again, good field position for Chatham-Kent as everyone kind of takes their turns jumping over that lake right at the 35-yard line. And that's the vicinity where the Cougars will take over here.
Cameron Sanderson, good job there on defense. Number 40 for the Cougars gets into the backfield and makes the tackle, causing that turnover on downs and giving the Cougars the football back. Oh,
and now right off the snap, the football is lost. Under center was Owen Millot-Bennett this time at quarterback.
Rugby scrum in the middle there.
And let's see who comes away with the football after everyone is extracted from the pile.
Hamilton does fall on that loose football.
And it's Hamilton football, so they finally get a break in that regard in this football game. After the Hurricanes lose a whole lot of possessions on turnovers in the first quarter and a half. So this time the tables turn a little bit.
The first turnover here for the Cougars. That one just a quarterback center exchange issue, and a couple of factors likely there. First of all, the wet football, the wet conditions, and second of all, as you mentioned, the change in quarterback. Owen Millot-Bennett under center there.
A monumental task here for Hamilton, down by so much as they have the football back. They look to pass on 1st and 10. High pass, and it goes over the intended receiver, Colin Lally, number 29, way over his head. 2nd and 10 here for Hamilton.
Bennett Hart in on the coverage there on that overthrown ball. Did a good job holding up and not taking a free shot on the receiver.
Blowout win on the road in Sarnia last week for this Cougar squad, junior varsity level. And they're poised to have another similar result at home here this afternoon. Home opener. Looking to go to 2-0 in the young season. And flag comes out. Some early movement on that play. Play resulted in an incomplete pass once again. Looks like the closest receiver once again was Colin Lally. And for the moment,
it looks like that's going to go against the Cougars there. It looks like they jumped offside.
so 5 yards in the offsides. We'll do 2nd down once again, this time 2nd and 5, 3:23 left. Once again, quarterback looking to the air along that far side. Again, another big miscommunication. Nobody at all in the area. Receiver went one way, that football went the other, and it falls. So 3rd and 5 now coming up for Hamilton.
Well, again, the quarterback for Hamilton is Berlingieri, number 12, but he did not start the game at quarterback. It was Steven Naranchich, and he looked to get banged up after he threw an interception to the Cougars' Darian Bassick-Haddon, and we haven't seen him since then. And there's a bit of a difference there in the arm strength between Berlingieri, who's in there now, and their earlier quarterback.
To the air. And almost intercepted once again through the hands of the Cougars, Corin Stewart. And it falls incomplete on 3rd and 5. So once again, the Cougars will get the football back, up by a whole truckload, 56-0. We're still in the first half. after a half-hour plus rain delay. And as Mike mentioned a few minutes ago, no halftime. They'll end this quarter and then go right to the second half.
Cougars football at the Hamilton 32.
They go to the ground. Cougars on 1st and 10, and a big tackle right in that huge puddle at the 35-yard line.
14 and 55 on the stop.
And
Number 14 of the Cougars on
maybe a bit of a loss on that first down run for Chatham-Kent.
Well, you once you get wet, you're good, but that first splash is maybe a little bit chilly.
Yeah. It gives you more stamina for the second half. Wakes you up a little bit.
Looks like no gain on the plays. It can bring up second down and 10 at the Hamilton 32.
Quarterback keeper right up the middle. And not a whole lot there for Owen Malott-Bennett.
Owen Malott-Bennett on the quarterback keeper.
That'll bring up third down. And the Cougars remain up by a 56-0 margin.
Big number 12 there, Malott-Bennett at quarterback. More of a plotter than Bassick Haddon. Bassick Haddon brings a little bit more elusiveness to the quarterback position, I'd say. Cougars need to figure out here who they've got that's a good mutter. You know?
Yeah. Be right at home with his field condition.
That's right.
Although, overall, the field, not bad after that deluge that came down. You've got that one little spot where there's that big puddle, but other than that, field looking pretty good after that huge, heavy rain.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. Certainly, we've had our share of rain in southwestern Ontario, haven't we?
Will it please stop raining? Please. Enough.
Injured Hamilton player being helped off the field. Nice round of applause there from the fans that have come back to the stands now after scrambling to their vehicles to try and stay dry.
Not bad now. Sun is back out to dry things up a little bit.
Well, the itsy bitsy spider can come back out again.
We might break into song before too long. You never know in a 56-0 game. Show tunes later. And again, they get minimal yardage on the ground. And a turnover on downs will give things back to Hamilton now. We've hit 2 minutes even left to go in the first half. A 9-touchdown lead for the Cougars, who have absolutely dominated for a second week in a row.
Yeah, their stats just don't look real right now, do they? Yeah,
no, it's been more than impressive.
Yeah, you add up the 63-0 win from last week to open the season against Sarnia, and now this 56-0 lead, and we're still in the first half.
Hamilton back with the football. They keep it on the ground on 1st and 10, trying to find a seam along that left side. And stopping that one, Edwin Acosta for the Cougars. Bryson Klein on the assignment with the football for Hamilton. He picks up about 3 on that play on the ground. Under 2 to go, 1:45 and counting left until we hit a very, very short halftime. And they'll get right back at it for the second half after that 30-minute plus weather delay from earlier. Now they go to the air along that far side. Jump ball, who wants it? And it's hauled in by Hamilton. Nice concentration and a beauty catch at midfield.
Yeah. James Cochran, the defensive back there in coverage, looked like he was going to have a play on the football, but looked like he just missed it as he swiped with his right hand. And a nice grab by the receiver for Hamilton.
Ramsey Jackson, good job by Jackson to hang with that football and haul it in. One of the few highlights on offense for the Hurricanes this afternoon. We're down to 90 seconds left in the second quarter. 54-yard line at Chatham-Kent. And now pump fake by the quarterback and nicely timed by the Cougars defense. They swarm the QB, and a big quarterback sack will bring the football past the 50-yard line as they lose about 7 yards on that play.
Yeah, good pressure there. Trevor Lawton and Ethan Chenier Lane right up the middle, and the quarterback nowhere to go but gets swallowed up and taken to the ground. It's funny, you look at the weather now and the wind has completely let up and the beautiful sky out. You wouldn't even know, aside from the puddles on the field, that it actually rained here.
Not a bad late afternoon now. Low snap, quarterback trying to get out of trouble, and ultimately he loses
fumbled.
a football now. It is picked up by the Cougars, and they take over. Keeping it is Trevor Lawton, number 3, right around that big puddle at the 35-yard line.
That all started with Tyler Szymanski with the pressure and then stripping the ball just as he was about to take the quarterback to the ground. Great job by Szymanski, and the Cougars get that football back, as you mentioned.
56-0 for the Cougars. They have the football.
That was a real heads-up play by Szymanski to swipe at that football as he was making the tackle.
So is that how much it is?
Thank you.
They hand it off and trying to find the corner along that far side. There's a flag on the play. Nice wheels there by Dockstader, who I think has his first carry of the afternoon. But let's see what this flag is saying.
I think this one's going to come back, and it is. Looks like it was a hold on the edge there, and that one's going to come back. It's unfortunate. Nice run there by Dockstader.
That's the first time you said his name.
And at halftime, we'll be announcing that.
So the football comes back to the 45.
10-yard penalty on the play. Brings out first down and 20 for the Cougars at the Hamilton 46.
Out of the gun, Malon Bennett surveys the field, throws it up along that far side. He's got a man wide open, and it is a completion along that far side, trying to get to the sideline. It comes out. Evan Starr with the reception, but it comes right out. And the Hamilton Hurricanes get it right back. So a nice pass and catch play, but conditions are less than ideal out there, and Starr couldn't hang on to it. And Hamilton will have the football, but only 13 seconds left to work with in this second quarter.
Well, it was a good-looking throw. Evan Starr had to come back to get it. And then just as he turned to go back upfield, he had pursuit coming from behind, and they were able to strip it out and cause that fumble. And a big play by Hamilton there. A couple of turnovers here they forced in the second half. Or, excuse me, the first half.
It feels like the second half.
It does feel like the second half with that long rain delay.
And the scoring. Looking it up 56-0, and we're not even out of the first half just yet. Pass along that far side for Hamilton. It is complete. And out of bounds.
Pass complete to number 5, Blaze Robertson on the far
And now they are going to call halftime. What a first half for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Junior varsity squad. They came out right out of the gate and have not let up. 56-0 Chatham-Kent over Hamilton as their points to go to 2-0.
Yeah, they certainly are. Now, I believe we mentioned it there after the extended rain break. The second half now that it is officially starting, will be more of a running clock, if you will. The clock will stop on scores, timeouts, or injuries. Otherwise, the clock will continue to run, and that's agreed upon by the coaches because of the lopsided score that we're seeing at this point.
Halftime, 56-0 for the Cougars over the Hurricanes. Junior varsity action with your TV. Ready for second half in the sunshine now. The Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Mike and Mike with you, your TV. A blowout for the Cougars, junior varsity level. Second game of the season. Home opener, though, and what a treat they have placed in front of their fans this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, not too much to argue about. 56-0. I mean, an unbelievable first half for the Cougars. And really, you're left wondering how many points they really could have put up had it not been for that rain delay after we came back out in the soaked field. A couple of turnovers by the Cougars, but, I mean, an unbelievable performance in all facets of this football game.
56-0. Wet football. Some wet field spots, too. Cougars do field it cleanly, and they'll bring the football to the 51-yard line, close to midfield. And they begin on offense in this third quarter, up by 9 touchdowns.
Nice return there by Corin Stewart for the Cougars. Fantastic field position to start this second half. Beautiful to see the sunshine out once again. Boy, it was extremely windy to start this football game, and then, of course, the storm rolled in and delayed this game by about 30 to 40 minutes, and now the wind has absolutely died down, and the sun has come out to give us pretty much perfect conditions at the athletic complex.
Tale of two afternoons with the weather for sure. Another game coming up a little bit later on, too, is the varsity squad will have their home opener, also against Hamilton. So hopefully some nice conditions for that football
fumble.
game. And now football comes out once again. Some good defense from Hamilton, resulting in a loss and maybe resulting in the lost football, too. We'll see.
Well, the Cougars do recover that football, but looked like what happened there was the Cougar that was about to take the handoff saw the defender sitting right there waiting for him, and I think was just getting ready to get hit pretty good off the edge and lost his concentration on taking that handoff. It certainly was a bit of a slow developing play there.
So second and very, very long now for the Cougars. They do keep the ball. Malad Bennett spins off to his left. Again, more pressure by the Hamilton D. And he had a receiver right off the fingertips of his man. Brennan Dodman was open. Maybe slightly overthrown, but he's got a tall frame, Dodman does, and almost hauled it in. Just couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, had it right in his hands. Just had to turn for it a little bit, and looked like it might have thrown off his balance just a little bit.
High snap on third and very long. Cougars will punt it away. Line drive. Fielded cleanly by Hamilton, but nowhere to go for the return man.
Looks like that was Braden Charbonneau on the tackle there. Number 84, I believe. And that was Jensen Burrow on the return.
8:03 to go in quarter number 3. A 9-touchdown lead for the Cougars, 56-0. Very low snap, a two-hopper in the wet grass, but recovering to get a completed pass to the 48-yard line.
Flags.
Pick up about 6 or so.
Sorry there, Mike. Flags coming out. almost right after the snap. Looks like they're talking to Hamilton there, so looks like it's going against the Cougars, too many men.
Too many men call goes against the Cougars. 5-yard penalty gives Hamilton a first down.
Mike said it was 10-yard penalty.
Oh,
And now a whole world of movement. Numerous flags come out there as to who moved first.
oh. Wow. Looked like that was against Hamilton at first, I thought, but
Does move the football 5 yards for Hamilton. 3-beat first down.
looks like I'm wrong.
1st and 5 now, 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Out of the gun, looking to his right, overthrowing intended receiver.
For number 29, Hamilton.
29, Colin Lally again was the target, and he was quite a bit overthrown there, so it falls incomplete. And now 2nd and 5 for the Hurricanes.
Really, at this point, and I believe you had said it earlier, you're really just looking to run the clock out, not suffer any major injuries, and let everybody go home unscathed and get ready for the next game.
And the field certainly is in less than ideal conditions after that rain, so you want to watch your footing as best you can and avoid those injuries as they take it up the middle on the run. Not a whole lot of yardage there, maybe a pickup of 3. And the Cougar defense able to prevent a first down, but third down still coming up offensively for Hamilton. And they don't change their mindset at all. They go for it. Only about 1.5 yards left.
Gain of about 4, so they got 3rd and a long one for Hamilton.
Third and short, they go to the air up the middle, and it is over the intended receiver, Blaze Robertson. He was open, but just overthrown, and it falls incomplete. Ball goes back to the Cougars, up 56-0.
Yeah, I think just slightly over the intended receiver, as you mentioned, but really in such short yardage, I'm surprised on third down you don't just maybe run a dive play or something to get that 1 yard and give yourself a fresh set of downs. But I guess if you're down 56-0, it doesn't really matter what you do. But
On either side,
yeah,
you just try some different things.
that's
maybe.
right.
People they got on the team.
3:53 and counting. Left in quarter number 3. All the scoring coming back in the first half. Cougars have the football at their own 48-yard line. They look to go to the air with Malott Bennett. He fakes a throw, can't find anyone open, and down he goes himself behind the line of scrimmage. So Cougars lose about 3 yards there.
The open receiver
Number 95.
tucks the ball down and runs.
Ball back to the 46-yard line.
Number 95 with Hamilton on that stop.
Yeah, Malott Bennett really brings some size to the position. I mean, you don't really lose him in a crowd. Big
Not
number
easily.
12. No,
Depending on the crowd.
I guess that's true.
The varsity squad's getting ready for their game after this one against these same two cities, Chatham-Kent and Hamilton. Malott Bennett looking to go down the field. He has to get that one away. He does, just barely, as he was taken to the turf right after letting that one go. And he throws it out of bounds.
Far side.
And that will bring up third and about 13.
Yeah, nearly didn't get that ball away. I wasn't sure he was going to. Good pursuit on the backside
Cougars are faced with a 3rd down. And
before throwing that ball incomplete, and the Cougars
balls at the
going to set up to punt this one away
46-yard line.
as the wind picks up a little bit into the face of the Cougars here. Just 2 minutes to play and counting here in the third quarter.
Well, we mentioned it 2 or 3 times, but this has turned into a very, very nice late afternoon. here at the Athletic Complex. As the
good
Cougars
looking
have bunted
kick
away.
there.
Oh, that was a great boot all the way down the field. And now having some trouble with it is the return man. He does finally pick it up, but he'll have nowhere to go with it. 3 Cougars right there to swarm in. And brought down by the Cougars, Shumansky. If you're the Cougars, you've got to be mighty happy with how that kick went and where the football is going to be, the starting point for the offense for Hamilton.
Yeah, good-looking special teams play there from the Cougars. Good-looking boot. And then Shumansky, good pursuit. The tackle. Little to no yards on that return.
Clock continues to go in this lopsided score. 1:02 to go in this third quarter.
First down for Hamilton.
Quarterback now looks to his left, throws it. He's got a man. It's completed and wrapped up almost immediately. Tackle along that far side looks to be Brandon Anderson, who got his man down.
Steven Narančić back in at quarterback. It's the southpaw who started the game for Hamilton.
Looked to be 3 yards maybe on that pass play to the left-hand side, so 2nd and 7 coming up, which could be the final play of quarter number 3. Another pass play down the field and right up the middle, and it's off the fingertips of receiver. I think that was Connor Cole up the middle. He was double-teamed. Pretty good coverage, and really he was open enough. Just had to go off his fingertips. And the Cougars will take it. Third down is coming up, 3rd and about 7 when we begin quarter number 4. So by far the quickest moving quarter of the game, but also the lowest scoring quarter of the game, where we saw nothing.
Yeah, that's true. We
Zeros.
did see a handful of turnovers, but aside from that, you're right. Some back and forth play in about a 20 or 30 yard span, and that was about it. But again, that running clock certainly makes a difference. That third quarter just absolutely flew by.
Comparatively.
Yes, comparatively. I mean, when you think about it, the Cougars scoring 56 points before the first half was even over, and we had that long rain delay. I mean, that was probably about the longest first half of football we've seen in a long time.
I would quickly agree with that for sure.
In the fourth quarter, faced with a 3rd and 7.
Making up for lost time here. Now we are safely in quarter number 4. A low snap in the turf, picked out by the QB for Hamilton, going to the sidelines. And it looks like he is short from where he wanted to go. Ethan Cole, or pardon me, not Ethan Cole, but Steven Narančić for the Hurricanes as he darted to the sidelines, but I think he was about a half yard short.
Yeah, he was literally a footstep away, but I got to say, again, we haven't seen Narančić since it looked like he got banged up on the interception that he threw to Darian Basak-Haddon. And they had a big collision when he made the tackle. And he never saw the game again until this last series. And I believe that he's probably a little bit banged up because he was really darting for that sideline quick, or else you'd expect he would dive forward to try to get that first down. He was that close.
Just over a minute into quarter number 4. Cougars back with the football. Close to the 20-yard line of Hamilton. Malad Bennett under center. Hands it off to the running back. Some room along the near side. What the speed! Touchdown again for the Cougars. The second half's first score. Punching it in, Corin Stewart turned up the Jets pretty quickly there, and he finds the end zone. Stewart with the touchdown.
Well, that was nicely done. The delayed handoff over the right side, and he just followed his blockers, wasn't even touched, and then showed the Jets all the way to the end zone. But Corin Stewart, I mean, if it's one-hand touch, two-hand touch, nothing was stopping him there. He had nobody close to him, and then he showed some good speed there on the edge to get to the house.
And the kick for. And it is up and through. Punches it through on the extra attempt. So the Cougars now their 9th touchdown. So for a while I've been saying it was a 9-touchdown lead. My math took a bit of a hit. It was an 8-touchdown lead. Now it's 9.
Well, this broadcast has been littered with errors.
Yeah, and you know, why mess with what's been working?
That's correct.
For the entire afternoon. So now it's a 9-touchdown lead for the Cougars, 63-0, as they lead the Hamilton Hurricanes. So it's much like last weekend.
Yes, it's certainly worth noting. That was the exact score last weekend. The Cougars opening the season in Sarnia, beating the Sturgeons 63-0. It's their magic number maybe this year. 63 to 63. Can you imagine if that was your average for the season? Your defense doesn't allow a single point, and you average 63 points a game?
You'd be getting some national attention, I think, if that were happening. Cougars will take it so far.
National attention, I'm not sure. Regional? Okay. Maybe.
I stand by what I said.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm right.
We could put our research department on.
They've gone home. They have gone home for a nap. Getting as many yards back as he can. The Cougars doing a good job to kick that one and pin the Hurricanes down very, very deep. They recover a little bit to get some yards on the run back. 10-10 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they're...
Oh, wait, did the Cougars grab that football?
There was a fumble at the end of it, but it looked like the official had signaled that it was the play had ended and it was Hamilton's football, but doesn't look like it. It looks like it's Cougars' ball.
The onslaught continues.
Momentarily on the ground, recovered by the Cougars. We didn't get a number, but they're going to go right back on offense again. Right about the Hamilton 10-yard line.
Owen Malott Bennett, quarterback once again, as they run the football. A lot of bodies up the middle.
Still some good smacking going on down there.
Number 11 on that carry. Running hard and behind
Running back Doxtater, number 11, and by far Malott Bennett's jersey the dirtiest of the bunch today.
Yes, that is true.
Injury timeout on the field.
That messy look came courtesy of the opposite end of the field.
Off the injury timeout, we're back at it as the Cougars on offense looking for another touchdown, trying to get the corner. It is in! Touchdown number 10 for the Cougars, and Corin Stewart punches it in. 69-0 now. That is the 10th touchdown of the afternoon.
Corin Stewart, consecutive touchdowns and almost identical plays. On the right corner, 10-yard scamper for the score, not touched again. Just the blocking up front has been unbelievable for the Cougars. I mean, they have just absolutely dominated every aspect of this football game.
Let's kick a combo with Kent. See how well that goes.
Well, there goes our theory on the 63 being the magic number.
Yeah, it's even worse now. It's going up. The average points scored going up.
Yeah, going for 2 here.
Malott Bennett on this 2-point convert going way up in the air and had a man, but it was knocked away. And the convert not good. So it will remain 69-0 for the Cougars with 8:44 to go.
That pass was intended by Evan Starr. Good defense, though, by Hamilton. A little bit surprising that they were going for the 2-point conversion, and yeah, the flag comes out. So you got to figure this is not going to be a friendly flag, considering they weren't even playing at the time that the flag came out. And this is likely going to be unsportsmanlike verbiage.
Flag out in the middle of the field. We'll just await the call on this.
Objectionable conduct. Hamilton. Objectionable conduct. White.
Oh, on both sides.
Objectionable conduct calls go one against each.
So things
team.
getting a little bit testy down there in the football field in a 10-touchdown football game.
Yeah, having a little chit chat.
Yeah.
Those penalties will offset.
A little bit of banter that wasn't accepted kindly.
My only guess is they didn't want an even, tidy score like 70. That's why they went for 2.
Right.
Logan Stefina coming back on the field. We were waiting for Logan there.
Yeah.
Ball was waiting at the 45. Now we're ready for the kickoff. And Stefina gets a pretty good boot away, a line drive.
I believe I thought I heard a whistle to stop that play. Oh, fumble.
Oh my, I
The
heard that
Cougars
same
have it.
whistle.
Who's on the ground?
I heard the same whistle, but I don't know.
Football.
Wow, I thought I'd heard a whistle to stop that kick, but nothing that followed. They let it play out.
Or maybe it was from the backfield and the other the varsity squads.
Oh, very good, yeah.
Able to fall on that
I
loose football.
wasn't thinking of that.
Or the wind brought it from another city. Could have been a whistle from Grand Point.
Right.
It's 69-0. I'm just talking.
The Cougars did recover that fumble though, and they'll keep the football and look to add to that 69-0 lead.
.7:45 and counting remaining in this football game. They headed right up the middle on the ground, getting a few yards before getting brought down. L.J. Hines with that assignment.
7. The rain is all gone.
Once again on the ground. Here's Stewart trying to turn the quarter along that left side. He does. Uses that great speed, and
Touchdown.
he is in.
Number 20.
He is in once again. Corin Stewart has another major. And now it is, I don't think I've ever said this before, it is 75-0. I don't think I've ever said that before.
It is
75-0 Cougars.
it is getting a little bit out of hand.
Just starting to.
Corin Stewart, 3 consecutive touchdowns. Got the hat trick there.
11th touchdown of this football game, and we've only played 3.5 quarters. Still more to come.
Could outdo the Al Bundy if he had the another touchdown in this in this quarter, because that would give him 4. I mean, Al had 4 in a game. This would be 4 1/4.
Right. It would be like the Al Bundy Deluxe.
The deluxe. Yeah, you don't see a lot of those.
That's a Married with Children reference, kids. If you've never seen that, that's a sitcom from back when your parents were kids.
Point after attempt is low.
The Cougars still finding some difficulties with the extra point.
Number 50 and 50.
So it will remain a 75-point lead for the Cougars. I don't mean to laugh. I really do feel bad for Hamilton, but it's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
75-point lead. The subsequent kickoff after the 11th touchdown of the afternoon for the Cougars, picked up by Hamilton. And
fumble.
A big crunch, and does that football come out once again?
The Cougars
Who
have it
wants
again.
There's a big pileup. Who comes out with it ultimately at the 35-yard line?
That's Cougars football.
Indeed.
44 for the Cougars.
Indeed. Oh, my.
Wow.
LJ Hines on that fumble recovery.
Well, here's Corin Stewart's chance at the Al Bundy Deluxe.
The Al Bundy Deluxe. 4 consecutive touchdowns, man. Oh, man. Having a good afternoon is LJ Hines as well. I mean, who hasn't had a good afternoon if you're the Cougars?
Yeah.
Everybody's had a good afternoon.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, and really, the offensive line has been amazing. I mean, the holes that they've created to run through for these players to rack up these yards. And nope, Corin Stewart's coming off the football field.
Clean jersey guys only. Who's 7? Has he been carrying the ball now? That's 7? That's 7. 71. Is that a 7? That's one number. 11.
He's been up there.
Everybody likes seeing the big guys get the football, right?
To the ground, the Cougars go once again after that takeaway. Another takeaway. And Brady DeVoe
Number 14 on the carry.
on the assignment up the middle. And for DeVoe, probably was his first carry. I don't remember calling his name very much on a running play today.
I think you're right. Sounds like he's got a good cheering crew up in the stadium. I believe it was Bell and Biv.
Bring up second down and 3. The Cougars just inside.
You win. You win the afternoon. That's it. Good job. So we've got a Married with Children reference so far in the broadcast in this fourth quarter, and Bell Biv DeVoe.
Yeah.
Good job. Well done. Under 5 to go. Once again, they'll keep it on the ground, and they took a long time for that handoff. And once again, that was L.J. Hines, that time with the carry. And with the time it took to get him in his hands, the defense for Hamilton able to read that one very quickly.
Yeah, it looked like there was some confusion there between Hines and his quarterback. And now we've got a player that's shaken up. And, of course, as we mentioned earlier, the clock does stop on injuries.
Oh, it comes out. And I think Hamilton's got that football as it just flew out of L.J. Hines' hand. And it's Hamilton football with 4:12 remaining.
So a chance here for Hamilton to try to break the scoreless drought.
Second consecutive complete performance by the Cougars junior varsity squad. Coming off a good 2018 campaign. And certainly looking for more glory in 2019. A great start. They'll go to 2-0.
You guys here next week?
Yep. We're here. Better them coming here than us going in. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If he's still junior varsity, he might be senior. And they're going to be here next week, too.
Low snap, but dug out of the turf, spinning away from one would-be tackle, and gets a pass away. Diving attempt, and that one hits the turf. An incomplete pass, but a nice effort by both quarterback and receiver on that play. But it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, great job by Narancic there, the quarterback for Hamilton. The spin move out of the tackle, and then he keeps the play alive with his feet. And you got to remember, he's left-handed, so he's rolling and throwing across his body. And then he took a good shot there at the end, but made a nice throw, and nearly able to make a play on it was his receiver.
Faking a throw, handing it off to the running back on 2nd and 10. And they get about half the yards needed, a 5-yard pickup on the ground.
Number 26, Bryson Klein on the carry up the middle.
32 on the stop.
Jude Pearson on that stop after a gain of about 6. third down and a long 3 for Hamilton, just inside their own 30.
Pitched off to the left-hand side. Some good yards after the catch, and a first down and a whole lot more. As Hamilton with a pretty nifty play on offense there with Bryson Klein getting a big pickup there.
Yeah, nice little swing pass. Shed a couple of would-be tacklers and a good pickup and a fresh set of downs for Hamilton as we get down to just 1 minute remaining in this football game.
Hamilton has the ball first down at their own 46.
You got to think that really at this point they're just looking to erase that shutout.
From the 46, out of the gun, quarterback surveying the field, goes up the middle, and it's tipped by the Cougars. And it looked like off of the fingertips of out of Ryan Grelmore. And Grelmore got just a little bit of fingertips on that one. And it falls incomplete for second down coming up.
Yeah, good coverage there by Grelmore underneath. Gets his big right mid on it and deflects that pass.
Second down and 10 for Hamilton at their own 46.
And this could be the last play of this football game.
What a game it has been. And a pass that is complete along the near side, close to midfield, as the game officially ends. What a game for Chatham-Kent. Complete on both sides of the football. Special teams doing very well. And what a long, long afternoon if you're Hamilton.
Yeah, it's not enjoyable, certainly, especially when you make it, fairly decent trek as well from the Steel City here to Chatham for this football game. But boy, the Cougars do look strong, don't they, on both sides of the football. Their offense is extremely potent. Any number of weapons that they've got, starting at the quarterback position with Darian Bassick-Haddon, and then you work your way out to the running backs and the receivers. Certainly Tyler Szymanski, impact player. We saw Corin Stewart, Logan Stefina. I mean, they've just got so many weapons, and then on defense, just all over the place, making plays on defense, turnovers. They're just an extremely talented football team.
63-0 in week 1 on the road in Sarnia, 75-0 at home in week 2 in the home opener here this afternoon. I think the junior varsity squad's going to be okay this year.
Yes, I would have to agree with you. 2 straight shutouts now to open the season.
That's right. Another busy weekend coming up next weekend. We'll have a bunch of games on our air, and coming up here in a few minutes will be the varsity squad and their home opener, as they will also take on the Hamilton Hurricanes in the varsity class in this league. So on behalf of Mike James, Jeff Brooks on camera, and the rest of the folks here with your TV, my name is Mike Grenier. Again, the final score, the Cougars 75 and the Hurricanes nothing.